We've all experienced it. Hollywood fatigue. And within 2 minutes, you can already guess the entire plot. You know exactly when the jump scares are coming. You know exactly which characters are going to die, based on how little screen time they get. And worst of all, you know the movie is going to lazily slap on that tired pseudo-intellectual trope. Man is the real monster. Wow, truly groundbreaking. I am moved to tears by your entry-level nihilism. Hollywood, please, show me another 2-second death scene of a character whose name I didn't even learn, followed by another generic action brass explosion score.
I'm just a janitor.
But then, you watch Train to Busan.
부산으로 가는 KTX 406 열차가 곧 출발합니다.
A movie that takes a premise that should, by all laws of cinema, get boring within 40 minutes. A zombie outbreak. On a literal cramped linear train. And yet, it doesn't just work. It stands as a masterclass in tension, screenwriting, and emotional devastation. Today, we're breaking down why Train to Busan shames Hollywood. Oh, and consider this your official emergency broadcast warning. Massive spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, cry your eyes out, and then come back. Great horror doesn't waste time, but it also doesn't rush. The movie opens with a deer getting hit by a truck. Standard stuff, right? But then the deer stands up. Its joints snap back into place. Its eyes are milky white. This single scene is genuinely one of the most terrifying scenes in the movie. And it instantly sets the tone for the rest of it. The visual storytelling here is top tier. And then we get to our first passenger, Infected Girl. Can we talk about her performance? She sets the tone for the rest of the Infected. In Train to Busan, the zombies are never cringe, and they are never cheesy. They are fast, aggressive, twitching nightmares. But what makes this sequence brilliant is the human reaction. When Infected Girl starts seizing, the trained nurse doesn't immediately sprint away screaming zombie. She runs toward her. She tries to help stop the seizures. Everyone acts with genuine, realistic human panic and confusion. And before they know the truth about the infected, they act like it, along with always making realistic choices throughout the whole movie. Within this pressure cooker of a train, we meet our cast, and because I like keeping things simple, let's introduce them by their rightful titles. First, main guy, or father, a cynical, selfish fund manager who tells his daughter to only look out for herself. Next, the daughter, the moral compass of the entire film. Then, we have tough guy, the absolute peak of human masculinity. And his pregnant wife. Our baseball couple, baseball girlfriend and baseball boyfriend. Bum coat guy, who is frantic but incredibly important. And finally, executive jerk, the corporate embodiment of pure unadulterated cowardice. Now, the actual plot of this movie is very fast. Although we get very important characterization for the father and the daughter before the zombies show up. However, once Infected Girl bites the nurse, the virus spreads through the cars like a wildfire. Within minutes, half the train is turned and our surviving cast is forced to sprint toward the front cars just to stay alive. The initial goal is simple: make it to Daejeon Station, where the military is supposedly setting up a safe zone. But when they arrive, they discover that the safe zone has been completely overrun. Our group gets split up. Main guy, tough guy, and baseball boyfriend get trapped in the back, while pregnant wife, the daughter, and bumcoat guy are trapped in a bathroom, surrounded by zombies in the middle. The remaining selfish passengers lock themselves safely in the front. This sets up the entire second half of the movie. A brutal car-by-car rescue mission, moving from the back of the train to the front, leading to a final locomotive escape toward the last rumored safe city of Busan.
Welcome to Seabrook.
Before we talk about the themes, we have to talk about the geography. A train consists of cramped cars, connecting in a straight line. When I first watched this, I wondered, how are they going to keep the action moving without it getting repetitive?
I don't know.
The genius of the screenplay is that it goes out of its way to establish the zombies' weaknesses. They can't see in the dark, they only track by sound. By giving them clear rules, the movie turns a simple walk through a train car into a high-stakes chess match. Just look at the sequence where they have to push through multiple cars to save the women trapped in the bathroom. In a Hollywood film, this would be backed up by an adrenaline-pumping, generic rock or brass action score. It would make the men look like action heroes. But Train to Busan plays a deeply tragic, tense, and somber score here. Why? Because the movie understands that this isn't an action movie, it's a tragedy. Every inch of ground gained feels like it's costing them a piece of something. You are genuinely terrified for them because the writing has actually taken the time to characterize them. When someone is in danger, it's a gut punch. Not like Hollywood and their disposable 2-second deaths. Now, let's look at the core of the film. Train to Busan relies heavily on classic horror tropes, but it's far from generic, because it actually does those tropes justice. It uses them to explore a profound thematic battle: selfishness versus collective sacrifice. This movie sets up a beautiful contrast. At the start, main father guy is just the mini version of executive jerk. He tells the daughter not to help people, but the daughter represents what main guy could be if he remembers his humanity. Executive jerk represents what main guy will become if he continues down his corporate, selfish path. Unlike Western apocalypse movies, where the message usually is people suck, this film shows that society survives only through collective sacrifice, which in my opinion is a way more interesting statement to make, and philosophy to explore. And it executes this phenomenally. It uses its characters to explore this theme. Tough guy gives his life in the most manly way. Bumcoat guy, who is looked down upon the entire movie, sacrifices himself to buy time for pregnant wife and daughter. Even the conductor, a beautiful example of a selfless worker, stays until the end to try and save people. And how does executive jerk repay him? By throwing the conductor to the wolves to save himself! But here's the brilliant poetic justice of the writing. Villainy always gets its karma. Executive jerk's selfishness doesn't save him. He gets infected anyway. And hey, sorry to interrupt the flow, but we have to talk about the old sisters. Yes, I purposely left them out until now, because they have a moment that I wasn't expecting. When one sister is left outside to die because of the passenger's cowardice, the surviving sister looks at the selfish crowd inside. The writing here is so clever. When she opens the door to let the zombies wipe out the selfish passengers, I literally laughed in glee. I thought, yes, Executive Jerk is finally dead. And then the movie revealed they survived in the bathroom.
You serious?
And I was so incredibly frustrated. But that is the mark of incredible writing. It manipulates your emotions perfectly. However, I don't consider it to be manipulative. If the movie or show actually manages to make me care, I'd say they deserve the emotions that are well earned. This all culminates in the devastating climax between main father guy and executive jerk. Main guy has completed his arc. He has chosen collective sacrifice. And when he gets bitten, his final moments, he remembers holding his daughter for the first time. And he falls off the train to protect her. Again, it's a beautifully earned emotional payoff. Oh, and Executive Jerk finally dies. Thank God. Which brings us to the final scene of the movie. The tunnel scene. Because the movie spent 2 hours proving it was completely willing to brutally slaughter its main cast, the tension here was agonizing. When the gun army guy targets them in the dark with his sniper rifle, I was genuinely in tears. I was 100% convinced the movie was going to end on a dark, cynical note, and that he was going to shoot the pregnant wife. Yeah! But instead, the daughter sings. The song she wanted to sing for her father at the start of the movie ends up saving her life in the end. It's a perfect, heartwarming, or heartbreaking ending to this emotional movie. Train to Busan isn't just a great zombie flick. It is a masterclass in tension, pacing, and human empathy. It proves you don't need a massive world to tell a massive story. You just need a train, a set of rules, and characters worth crying for. All in all, this movie was amazing. And my final rating is 8.5 out of 10 stars. What did you think? Did Executive Jerk get what he deserved? Or did he get off too easy? Let me know in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, what are you...